What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another adventure here at the Outpost. In today's adventure, I have decided to now just say fuck it. The last few videos we've been doing genre by genre by genre by genre, and I just said to myself, TJ, just show them the whole kit and caboodle. So that's what we're going to do from now on for the next series of videos that I'm going to have. I'm going to do just my straight movie collection. I'm going to show you my DVDs, I'm going to show you my Blu-Rays, I'm going to show you my 4Ks, and I'm going to show you my Steelbooks. We're going to go at numbers, and then we're going to go letters, and we're going to rock all the way through it. I'm probably just going to do one each video just because it's going to get pretty long with each one. I don't want to make these videos too long. I was going to do like numbers in A today, but then I saw like I have so many A movies that it would just be such a long fucking video. So I was like, you know what, we're just going to do it one by one, break it up, and have however many videos that we need, and we're going to rock and roll with it. And so we're not going to waste any more time. We're just going to get right straight fucking into it tonight. We are doing the numbers, baby. I have got quite a few numbered movies. I know everybody's different the way that they categorize and inventory their movies. I'm an alphabetical guy. I've always been an alphabetical guy. I don't do it by genre. I don't do it by studio or all that like weird stuff that like other people will do. I'm just straight by the book. Like something like 47 Ronin wouldn't be an F for me. It's going to be in numbers. That's how numbers are going to work. Anything that has a number in the title to start it off, that's what's going to rock in this here pile tonight. So having said that, without further ado, let's just party right on into the video. We're going to get started with our first movie here, Two Guns. Denzel, Mark Wahlberg. It's got a sweet little slipcover here if it wasn't for the goddamn stupid Best Buy sticker that ruins these. This is a solid movie. I remember seeing it when it first came out. Was a big fan of it because it's got Bill Paxton. And Denzel and Mark Wahlberg they're all right in this movie. Anybody important directing and writing? Absolutely fucking not. Oh, James Marsden's in this also. It's got a sweet little cast. It's a solid movie. I enjoyed it. Numbers 2 are like the few categories that I've seen every movie that I own. Don't have it with a lot of them. I had a party with a friend way back in the day where every time we would get together, just him and me, we would go along through the collection starting at the numbers. Every time we got to a movie that neither of us have seen, it didn't matter what the movie was, we watched it. So numbers and A's and most of B's, I have seen every one that I own. And then we've kind of fallen off the wayside since there, but you know, I'm making my traction. We've got The Third Man. This is an old Orson Welles movie. This is really 1949. It's one of the oldest movies I've ever seen. It's all right. It's got a good story to it. It's like suspenseful, and it's like a really good old school style film noir. But it can be pretty boring at times. But it was fun to watch for its film history. We've got The Sixth Day. There's somebody in my house with my family eating my birthday cake. This movie's silly as shit. This is probably one of the last like decent Schwarzenegger movies. Like this was towards the tail end of his career. This was like 2000. Like he was pretty much checked out at this point. He already had those Governator ideas formulating in his head. So 6 days. It's not terrible. It's not one of his best, not one of his worst. It's just kind of there. We got 8 Mile. This was a solid movie. I've only actually ever seen this once, so it's probably due for a rewatch. And when I did see it, I was like young. I was probably younger than I probably should have been watching this movie. It's come out in 2002, and I saw it in 2002, which means I was 13, I think, 13, 14 years old. Very early to be watching this movie. But I remember it being really good, but I'm going to have to rewatch it again. 8mm. This is a really fucked up movie for anyone if you haven't seen this movie. It's made by the same writer who did Seven. So if you like that kind of grisly thriller, this one definitely right up your alley too. This one I think is a lot darker than Seven. And some really fucked up subject matter. Joel Schumacher, probably one of the better movies of his. I'm very hit or miss with Joel Schumacher. But this one's really good. Nick Cage, Joaquin Phoenix, Gandolfini. Solid cast. I'm going to have to rewatch this. I saw that movie way earlier than I should have as well. Somebody's fucking always, whenever you start filming, the people just start texting. What was I saying? 8mm. It's another movie I saw way before I should have. We got 10. Dudley Moore, Bo Derek, Julie Andrews. This is a solid comedy with some romance in it. I'm not the biggest Dudley Moore fan, so this movie doesn't really hit so much for me. But it does have some good moments in it. I do think it was a fine movie. We got 10 Things I Hate About You. It's a great high school movie. It's one of the better high school movies that's ever been put out. I still to this day continue to be told that I look like Joseph Gordon-Levitt from this movie. I don't see it, but I'll take it because JGL's a great-looking dude. So it's flattery on my end. Those are the funny ones. I always get people that I don't see at all. Back when I had like shaggy hair and a mustache, some lady told me I looked like Paul Rudd from Anchorman, so that one was a good one too. That one cracked me up. We got 12 Angry Men. This is a fucking phenomenal powerhouse movie. I watched this in high school in social studies. This was just so freaking good. Great cast too. Like, look at all these people in here that most of you would have no idea. I don't even know most of them. I've heard their names, but I couldn't tell you what else I've seen them in. But that's a great courtroom drama. You should definitely check that one out if you like courtroom dramas. I'm a huge courtroom drama fan. Those movies, there's just something about them that just speak to me. They're just so fucking entertaining. 12 Monkeys. This is a really solid science fiction movie from Terry Gilliam. And I'm a very hit or miss Terry Gilliam kind of guy. He's very, like Brazil, not a fan. A lot of his other stuff, not a fan. This is one of the few that hits for me, and it's mostly due to Brad Pitt. And also time travel. Anytime we're dealing with time travel, I'm a big fan. But this is like one of the few performances where Brad Pitt's like actually being an actor and not just playing Brad Pitt in a movie. So it's really fantastic. The John Cena journey began with 12 rounds, the extreme cut. This is a fun little action movie. It's got Littlefinger in it, go figure, as the main bad guy. Directed by Rennie Harlan, who did like some crazy ass 80s and 90s action movies. This is better than it has any right to be. This definitely showed us that Cena, can bring the goods. And he's bringing the goods now. He's one of my... It's funny that of the three biggest, I like all these wrestler-turned-actors now, that The Rock is my least favorite of them. That's just how Dave Bautista, number one, John Cena, then The Rock. Just how it is for me. We got 12 Years a Slave. This is a really good movie, a really tough movie to watch. I only watched it once or twice, I believe. Really good. Chitawale Ejiofor, I'm sure I pronounced that way wrong, is so freaking. He's a really good actor. I love whenever he turns up and stuff. This is a great cast in this movie too. It's a really good movie. If you haven't seen it, you should see it. See it. Just watch it. 13 Going on 30. This is a really silly romantic comedy. I have a soft spot for it. It's entertaining. I love rom-coms. They're the perfect movies to just turn your brain off and just like enjoy. Like when you just want to just like shut off and shut down and decompress. Rom-coms are always the way to go. And this is a solid one. It's got an Andy Serkis in there. Anytime you see Andy Serkis when he's not being all CGI'd is always great because he's a fucking laugh riot. The 13th Warrior. It's a great book. Terrible movie. With the exception of Jurassic Park, they do not know what to do with Michael Crichton books. Like they just can't do it. Like I would love to see State of Fear become a movie, but I just don't think anyone is going to be good enough to adapt that. Maybe I will one day. Maybe I'll get lucky enough and I'll write it. It'll be great. Probably be terrible. But yeah, this movie is very, very bad. Skip it. 15 Minutes. I remember nothing about this movie other than I've seen it, so it's definitely due for a rewatch. It's called a slam bang thriller, so maybe it holds up, maybe it doesn't. Who knows? It's got Kelsey Grammer in it. I'm already tempted. Might have to do a rewatch. We got 16 Blocks. I'm gonna bake you a cake, Jack Mosley. It's a movie I've seen. Wasn't the worst, wasn't the best. I saw it when it came out in theaters in high school with my friends. Richard Donner. This is a decent movie. This was really where I started to turn on Bruce Willis, because he's just like, he's really fallen off the cliff in his later career. We got 17 again. This is a really dumb comedy. But, you know, at least it was showing Zac Efron was on the upswing there. That was like one of the last, like, really silly high school movies that Zac Efron was going to do, and he started to really climb after that and seek much more interesting roles. We got 21. That's a solid little gambling movie. It's not terrible. It's not the worst movie I've seen. It's not the best movie. It's got everyone's favorite terrible person, Kevin Spacey, putting in a Kevin Spacey performance. So what can go wrong there? We have got 21 Grams. This is an alright movie. It's definitely like my least favorite Alejandro movie. It's a little too slow paced for me, and it kind of goes on. It's bad when like a 2-hour movie feels like a 3-hour movie, and that's what I kind of get at moments from here. But the acting is really good in it. Sean Penn, Benicio del Toro, Naomi Watts are really good in the movie. We've got 21 Jump Street, a movie that I have to upgrade. This is one of the few. Most of these movies here I probably won't upgrade unless I can find them for like cheap, but this is one of the few that I definitely do want to upgrade and get like, I want to get the double pack 4K of this one and the second one. I have the second one, we'll see it later, but you know, we'll get there. This movie's better than it has any right being. It is super funny. Channing Tatum and Jonah Hill as a duo together are really funny. The supporting cast is really good. Rob Riggle, Ice Cube, Brie Larson, Dave Franco. This is a really fucking funny movie. It is. I was very pleasantly surprised when that came out. Get the 25th Hour, one of only 2 David Benioff written movies that I actually like. Now that I think about it, he might have only written 2 movies, but he did Game of Thrones, and I'll never forgive him for that. This is a good movie. This is a really. So I like how Spike Lee always says this is a Spike Lee joint. That cries, little things that really get you. As far as Spike Lee movies go, this is probably towards the bottom of his pack, just because he's got so many like better movies out there. But this is a solid one that I really enjoyed about Edward Norton's like last night out before he's about to go into prison. This is a really good like one last night story. I enjoy it. Another dumb rom-com, 27 Dresses. This is a pretty dumb one. 13 going on 30. Like someone could actually make an argument for being decent. I don't think you can make it with this one. I still enjoy it. It's like I just like rom-coms because you know they're just like they're so formulaic at times. So even watching like a bad one's still funny because like you can see how they're hitting the beats one after the other. But you know I got a soft spot for movies like these. They're like good comfort food. 28 Days. It's a Sandra Bullock movie about her being an alcoholic and dealing with a stretch in rehab. It's a solid movie. It's got Viggo Mortensen in it. I watched it when I was in high school, which is very peculiar. This is not the type of movie that high school me really would have been like, let's fucking do it. But I did it and I watched it. I honestly can't tell you much about it other than I've seen it. We've gone over them before, but we'll show them again. 28 Days Later and 28 Weeks Later. Both solid movies. Obviously, 28 Days Later is the fucking gem. It's a perfect movie. This one's solid too. I remember seeing it in theaters. Really liked it. I only watched it the one time in theaters, so I probably have to watch both of these again. I haven't seen either of them in a hot minute, so it would be nice to watch both of those movies again. Almost done with this pile. We've got the 39 Steps. It was an early Alfred Hitchcock movie, 1935. This honestly might be the oldest movie I've ever seen. It's a solid little spy thriller. Definitely was good groundwork for his career moving forward and seeing like how well he was going to be. So this one definitely set the blueprint. It's a solid movie. It's not anything like noteworthy, but if you like to go back and check out old film history and everything, you can do worse than watching the 39 Steps. And the last in this pile is 40 Days and 40 Nights. This is a dumb comedy about Josh Hartnett deciding to not ejaculate during Lent. Or 40, or just for, I don't know if it's during Lent. It might just be he decides to do it for 40 days and 40 nights because he's such like a sex crazed animal. It's a solid comedy. It's not like comedies for me, like even really dumb ones, I enjoy just because like I'll laugh at anything. I have my humor palette is very wide. I will laugh at literally fucking anything. So I can enjoy dumb comedies like that. Even though I know they're dumb comedies, I still get enjoyment out of it. 47 Ronin, Keanu Reeves movie. I was fucking so excited to see when I first saw the trailer for it. The movie I just remember being alright. I only saw it the one time in theaters, so obviously it hasn't stuck with me enough to want to like rewatch it. But I'm pretty sure my boy, Hiroyuki Sanada, yep, he's in there, baby. So definitely think maybe a rewatch just so I could catch him kicking some ass again. There's a really cool slipcover also, if it wasn't for the goddamn Best Buy sticker again. I swear to God, I'm glad they've gotten a lot better, especially now with like moving into Blu-rays and 4Ks, so that I've never really had an issue. But like the old days with DVDs, man, they just used to fuck those covers up left and right. We've got 48 Hours, Nick Nolte, Eddie Murphy, a great early Eddie Murphy vehicle. This is a fun little cop procedural movie. It's directed by Walter Hill, who I believe also did The Warriors, if I'm not mistaken. I might be mistaken, but hopefully I'm not mistaken. But this is a solid little action detective movie. Definitely worth checking out. I actually haven't seen the second one, another 48 Hours, so I'm definitely, I don't even have that one in my collection. I need to get that one. I know 48 Hours and another 48 Hours just came out on Blu-ray, but they weren't in stores anywhere to get, so I don't really... I'm not the biggest fan of ordering movies just because I like to like go out into stores and find them, but I might have to do it for those ones. 50-50. This is a really funny and also like super sad and depressing movie to watch. I remember I watched this a few years ago, and it was just heartbreaking at times. When it gets to that scene at the end where like he's kept such a good front throughout this entire movie. It's a movie about him dealing with getting cancer. And he's kept such a front up the whole movie, and then right before he's about to go in for his surgery, when he breaks down in front of his mom and his family, it's a fucking heartbreaking movie. It's a movie like I never want to watch again just because it was so sad at times, but it's really fucking good. So if you've never seen it, watch it. I'm sorry for making you cry, because by the end of the movie you probably will be crying. I know I was. And then if you have seen it, if you watch this multiple times, you're just asking for fun. You just love to feel pain. I don't know how you do it, but you're there, you do it. 51st Dates, one of the last good Adam Sandler movies. I saw this movie in theaters. This is a really good romantic comedy. Drew Barrymore and Adam Sandler, they just always knock it out of the park. This has got a really just hilarious turn by Sean Astin. He has so many good fucking one-liners in this movie. It just cracks me up. I'm going to have to watch it again just for all those one-liners. 61. This was an HBO movie about Mickey Mantle and Roger Maris taking on Babe Ruth's home run record. It's directed by Billy Crystal. It's a solid sports movie. I haven't seen it in a long time, but I'm definitely going to have to rewatch that. As you can see, there's just so many movies around here that it's really hard to always like get around to rewatching movies, especially when you want to watch so many new movies all the time. But you know, all these movies that I said I need to rewatch, hopefully I will get around to them. It's just who knows when the fuck it'll be. 88 Minutes. This is a pretty terrible thriller with Al Pacino, where he's like a forensic psychologist, and I think he gets a call from somebody that's like ensnared him in some game that he has 88 minutes to solve, and it's kind of like an in real time movie. It's not great. Worth watching, but I mean I would never watch it again. But if you've never seen it, and you need like a decent thriller, and you've watched all the other ones, like why not toss it on? Classic movie, baby. 101 Dalmatians. I fucking love this movie. I used to watch this movie all the time as a kid. Actually, I haven't watched it in a while. Definitely gonna need to get back on this. I used to love when they released these platinum editions because they had so many good old specials where they put on the footage of Walt Disney talking about the movie. It just has so much good bonus features with it. This is one of my favorite Disney movies. And then to go along with that one, we have the live action 101 Dalmatians and 102 Dalmatians. Glenn Close is the best part about both of these movies. Other than that, this one is pretty decent. It's a decent live action, almost shot for shot remake of the movie. This one's garbage. This one's got Jeff Daniels though in it, so that's not bad. Got 127 hours. This is a really good drama. Danny Boyle, dude, always knocks it out of the park. James Franco puts in a decent performance here. This is definitely one of his better ones, especially since he has to carry like the whole movie because there's really not many other actors in it besides him. He does a really good job. This movie really good, and when it gets to that gut-wrenching scene at the end, my God, it is fucking gut-wrenching. We've got 187. This is a high school movie about Samuel Jackson trying to teach some roughneck kids, and it is fucking intense. Like, this movie it's fucking wild. I just saw it recently. Kevin Reynolds directed, who also did Waterworld, if I'm not mistaken. This is a really good movie. Samuel Jackson fucking knocks it out of the park in this movie. Got 500 Days of Summer. I know I've seen this movie. Couldn't really tell you anything about it. This is one of the ones that's more at the top of the rewatch than other ones, just because I don't remember a lot from it, and people are always talking about this movie on the internet too. It's one of those ones that I feel like I absolutely need to give a rewatch to so I can get a fresh perspective on it. But I remember it being decent. Oh, I was gonna pick up the rest of this pile. We got 1408. This is a really solid slipcover. I really like that one there. I like the shine on it. John Cusack, Samuel L. Jackson. It's based on a Stephen King short story. It's all right. It's not terrible. It's a decent little like psychological thriller. I remember I saw it in theaters. I believe it was my senior year that movie came out. It was decent. You've got 2001: A Space Odyssey. This is a solid science fiction. I'm not in love with this movie like other people are. I think it's good. I like it for where it stands in its film history and how it pushed science fiction film forward. I'm just like not enamored with it like most people are. But it's enjoyable. I definitely got to upgrade it though, because I think that movie would look really good on 4K. 2012, baby. Roland Emmerich, baby. This man knows how to entertain the shit out of you. And this movie is fucking entertaining. It's not a good movie. Nowhere near close to a good movie. But it is absolutely entertaining. I could easily watch this movie. Great. Two powerhouse actors. 3,000 Miles to Graceland. If you haven't seen this movie, watch this movie. You got Kevin Costner and Kurt Russell leading a gang of ruffians who go to rob a casino during Elvis week. So they're all dressed up as the king, doing king shticks. It is a really underrated, like, action crime movie. I like this movie a lot. I saw this probably when it first came out, too. I think it came out in, like, 2001 or even, like, 2000. Yeah, 2001 it looks like. That way early. There's so many good movies out there that I've seen way earlier than I should have, and that one's phenomenal. And then last in the DVD pile, before we get to the Blu-rays, is another Roland Emmerich. This one is actually my least favorite Roland Emmerich movie, and that is 10,000 BC. This is one of the few that doesn't hit the mark for him, where even if it's not good, it's at least entertaining. This is not very entertaining. I only saw it once in theaters. Got it in the collection because I need to own movies that I've seen. Maybe a rewatch at some point. I don't know. I don't know if I'll ever do it. But on to the Blu-rays. First up in the Blu-ray pile is actually a really good old school political thriller, and it's 3 Days of the Condor. Robert Redford, Faye Dunaway, Max von Sydow. This is a really freaking good movie. You should check it out if you haven't. I actually really want to watch this again. I've only seen it like twice since I bought it, but I fucking loved it both times. So definitely want to watch that one again. We got 3 Days to Kill. This was kind of the movie that brought Kevin Costner back into the forefront. We hadn't seen him in movies for a while, and then he started popping up again. This movie, it's not great. It's not terrible. It's a solid little action movie. I tend to enjoy it more than most just because I'm a huge Kevin Costner fan. So I could watch him in dog shit and I'll still enjoy it just because I fucking love him as an actor. So not a terrible movie. Unless you count Amber Heard being in it, and then you're like, fucking movie. 10 Cloverfield Lane. This is actually my favorite of the Cloverfield movies. This movie is fucking really good, really tense, and claustrophobic. I like when movies can take one like small environment and really keep it contained there and really just build that tension. This is a really good one to do that. John Goodman, Mary Elizabeth Winstead both put in powerhouse performances. Really good movies. We got 12 Strong. I already talked about this one in the war video, so I'm not really going to go deep in on it. It's a solid Chris Hemsworth movie. Not the worst movie I've seen, not the best. It's just a movie I've seen. Same goes for 13 Hours. I also talked about this in the war one. This is one of the better Michael Bay movies. John gave us action John Krasinski, which I'm all for, so that movie's a win in my book. Pick up the rest of those. We got 21 Bridges. We got 21 bridges in and out of the city. Shut them down. This is a great movie. I really enjoy this one. It's a solid little police procedural. Definitely great Chadwick Boseman performance. It's such a shame. I remember seeing this movie in theaters and just being like, I fucking love Chadwick Boseman, man. Like he was becoming very much like a Kevin Costner, where it was like I could watch this man in dog shit and I'll still enjoy it. And it's a shame we won't get more of those. But I'll always have 21 Bridges to go back to. 22 Jump Street, as you can see, Best Buy still wasn't doing great at the time. These fucking stickers. That's why we need that upgrade. This is a really funny sequel. It is surprising that they were able to mine still so much comedy out of these two movies. This one's really funny. The whole sequence with Channing Tatum discovering that Jonah Hill has been banging Ice Cube's daughter is just fucking gold. Wyatt Russell is also really funny in that movie. We got 30 Days of Night. This is a solid little vampire movie. I remember seeing this in theaters and being like, yeah, that was alright. Not the worst movie, not the best movie. It's a movie I've seen. The 33. This was a good little biopic movie about these 33 miners that got stuck in a underground collapse. I think it was for like 69 days or some shit like that. It's a solid movie. Antonio Banderas really good in it. It's a really good Spanish cast also. There's a lot of people in this movie that you've seen in a plethora of movies. It's a good little drama movie. 40-Year-Old Virgin, classic. What more do you have to say? The movie made Steve Carell, made Judd Apatow, made fucking everybody in this movie. Seth Rogen. This is a really funny movie. I remember seeing this one. We snuck into this in high school, and it was fucking hilarious. Chadwick Boseman popping up again, baby. 42. This 42. This is a really good movie about Jackie Robinson, Chadwick Boseman. He was just the go-to guy for historical black figures, and he knocked it out of the park every time. He's so good in these movies. A great turn by Harrison Ford, movie, or at least in a role that I normally wouldn't think to see Harrison Ford in, but he was great in it. It was really good. This is made, Brian Helgeland, who did L.A. Confidential. So fucking phenomenal right there. Like, how could it not be good? We got 300, Rise of an Empire. This movie's garbage, not very good. It's really only worth it for Ava Green because she's not only a phenomenal actress, but she gets naked in it. Yeah. 310 to Yuma, baby. Putting them on the 310 to Yuma. This movie is freaking, so this is one of my favorite movies. It's one of my favorite westerns. It's just so good. Christian Bale, Russell Crowe. are just absolutely phenomenal in this movie. The whole ending of this movie is really good. Even bad men love their mamas. Phenomenal movie. If you haven't seen 310 to Yuma, what are you doing? Get your ass out and watch it right now. Only 2 4Ks in this pile of numbers. And first up is the first 300. Looks really good in 4K, but I'm just not the biggest fan of this movie. It's got some really badass lines in it. The dialogue is probably like my favorite thing about it. It's got really solid dialogue. I just don't care for Zack Snyder's slow-mo shtick. It just pisses me off. Just not a fan. And then finally, our last 4K and our steelbook to end off the numbered collection is 1917. A fucking phenomenal World War I movie. It looks amazing in 4K, but that is to be expected when Roger Deakins is your cinematographer. This is one of the most beautifully shot movies of all time. It is just phenomenal, and you should absolutely have seen this movie if you haven't seen this movie. And that is the numbers. This one was I contained it very well, I think. I think we might only hit like a half hour, maybe 40 minutes, which, I mean, even if that's the fucking baseline, and these other ones are going to be long, because there is some long titles. A has got a lot, B has got a lot, S has got a lot, it's going to be a fucking wild journey. But I hope you stick around. I hope you enjoy it. Seeing these movies. Maybe you're seeing movies you never heard about. You're going to add to your collection. Maybe you're finding movies for the first time that you're just going to find on streaming to watch. Whatever is your piece of the pie that you like, whatever's your thing, whether it's streaming, collecting, watching, I hope you found something good here. And if not, then fuck off. I got nothing for you. Get out of here. Go on. What are you doing? There's nothing for you here. But for all of us here at the Outpost, which is basically just me, I appreciate you sticking around. And until the next one, adventure on.